Oh my gosh. Woo! Oh my gosh. Wow. We got the call out. We got the shout out. All right. You can probably tell I was pretty excited about that because I finally got what I was looking for. A straight answer on the problem of funds, right? Sam explicitly says that FTX was not separating funds. They were allowing generalized withdrawals. The dollars were fungible from different buckets. You can't do that. We finally dodged all the BS about margin trading, about Alameda wires. We finally got to the heart of it, which is that there are no funds left over for the people who just should have had their funds separated because they never separated them from the beginning. They were always seemingly commingled. And although Sam wouldn't necessarily agree that they were always commingled, the proof is in the pudding. To give you kind of a regular finance analogy about why this is so cataclysmically bad, and in my opinion, fraud, imagine you banked at JP Morgan Chase, right? And you have your money in the savings account part. Well, then you find out that they actually had this risky hedge fund. And you know what? They actually kind of blew up. In fact, they blew up so badly that JP Morgan Chase, it's all shutting down. But when you go to the bank to withdraw your money, you find out that instead of keeping your money safely in your savings account, they had allowed the people in the hedge fund business to just withdraw it. You know, first come, first serve, right? They treated all clients the same, according to them. Well, you say, well, no, that's fraud because you signed up to very different terms of service than the guy who knew he was going to be like, you know, in this hedge fund, right? He had a different level of risk. He acknowledged that level of risk. And if you just throw all the money in one pot, the terms of service are meaningless, right? You're exposed to the same level of risk as the guy who took on huge risk. And that's fundamentally what happened at FTX. That's fraud. They told people their money was safe, and ultimately, they just subjected everyone to the same risk as like the day trading degenerate gambler on 100x leverage. And I really found the last thing Sam told me like so telling.
To answer.
So, I mean, that was huge of CoffeeZilla to put this up and, you know, keep going after Sam Bankman-Fried in these little Twitter spaces and doing these interviews, man. Shout out CoffeeZilla. Welcome back, you guys. I know it's been almost 2 weeks since I've posted something. Obviously, I was talking about, you know, I was going through a move. Even now, my setup is still all messed up. I don't even have my my mount for my mic. It's literally just laying on my desk. So if the audio is kind of weird, that's kind of why. But here's kind of what we're working with. You know, shout out CoffeeZilla for putting up this great content. He's always doing solid work. I remember when CoffeeZilla was, I think it was like under like 60K subs. And now look at this, man. He's doing solid work. But welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. I just quickly wanted to touch on some of the FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried stuff. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening over the past 2 weeks. But there's this video is actually going to be a little bit long. I'm not sure if I'm going to cover the back half. The back half, I wanted to cover like a lot of what has been happening with Gary Gensler and these Yahoo Finance interviews and just kind of just the front that he's putting up that isn't fooling anybody. But we're going to focus right now on the Sam Bankman-Fried stuff. And I think Dave Portnoy did a great job of kind of talking about what's going on in regards of this subpoena that Maxine Waters is so-called saying she's claiming she's willing to do, saying it's on the table, but you know no one's really believing her, especially after she's been seen, you know, blowing him kisses and kind of patting him on the back and thanking him for his time and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. So we're gonna click on this one as well. This is Dave Portnoy. Let's listen in. Probably about half of what this video shows right here. Let's take a listen into this.
A rant about our friend SBF. You remember him, the CEO of FTX? Hi y'all, it's SBF. It just came out in the last couple hours that Maxine Waters, who has been seen taking pictures with him, blowing kisses to him, is not going to subpoena this guy to testify in front of Congress. What are we talking about? SBF for the last week, 2 weeks, has been a fucking media tour. He's going around trying to act like Mr. Honest. He wants to figure it out and get people their money back. Every hard question that SBF gets asked, like, hey, SBF, where did the $8 billion go? Hey, SBF, how did you know that you were commingling funds, that money were depositing to FTX? You were basically gambling on stocks with Alameda, same parent company. His answer, by the way, to every one of those questions is this. I don't know. That's news to me. I don't know where the $8 billion went. Let me look it up. I got to find out. Let me talk to some people.
Long story short, I mean, he hit it on the head. If you've been following, you know, I mean, pretty much a lot of people within Twitter in general, but especially like the XRP army and just the community members have been posting a lot of those interview spaces. That's those Twitter spaces interviews that's been happening. And that's literally what's been his response to a lot of it, especially when you got people like CoffeeZilla really, pushing that line and really holding them accountable for, obviously community questions, but what's been happening within their actions when it comes to Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, and the connection between Alameda and just their shady behaviors, their scandal, if you will. So it's crazy that this so-called genius, this billionaire who's so generous, right, is so smart and is so connected and tied in, was so-called supposed to be the next Binance, claiming, oh, I don't know how this is done and I don't know how that is done. It's like, who do you think you're fooling? Clearly somebody's coaching this person to play dumb. They're coaching Sam Bankman-Fried to play dumb, and they're doing this massive, widespread, getting on any podcast, any interview that you possibly can, to almost, in a sense, lessen your the consequences that justice-wise you are bound to face. And everyone's seeing it. Everyone's talking about it. It's just tragic that and shameful that this individual is still walking around if you and I were to even remotely commit any of these, so-called fraud allegations and obviously, things that's been out there and present. If we were to do any of that, we'd be locked up in a heartbeat. And that's the crazy part about it. So he's referencing what's going on with the subpoena. So Maxine Waters says, lies are circulating CNBC that I am not willing to subpoena Sam Bankman-Fried. He has been requested to testify at the December 13th hearing. A subpoena is definitely on the table. Stay tuned. And Wheezy X says, billions have been stolen. People have lost life savings and some threatening to even take their own lives. I'm surprised you haven't dropped the hammer early. Wait, I'm not. I mean, it is just tragic, man. This is crazy. This is the space. This is the reality in the United States. This is the space we live in. I mean, it's crazy. So us in the XRP community, we've been big over the past 2 years, hounding in on this ETHgate scandal, this Ethereum stuff, Joseph Lubin and Consensus and all this stuff. Obviously, you have a lot of the crashes with Celsius and, Do Kwon and Terra Luna and BlockFi and forgot the other one, Voyager. A lot of negative narratives, a lot of platforms frauding and going or being insolvent. There's just so much negativity that's happening with all these. We call it smoke and mirrors, or the head fakery, or clearly the media is pushing all of this agenda and trying to steer the narrative and trying to steer our focus and vision onto other things. And the major overwhelming thing that we need to remember is it's not just about ETHgate, but it's just about the overwhelming concept of government corruption, people in positions of power corruption. So we're talking about, the JP Morgans of the world and, the Ethereum whales, if you will, or the Consensus. Like the whole ETHgate stuff is very, very relevant and is probably the most massive thing, because we're just seeing that FTX and their whole involvement with the whole, funding certain, I'm not going to talk about it, but, certain parties, and they're tied into certain individuals' camps, and there's his father's connected here and has, this connection here, which kind of gives them this leverage and power over. It's just crazy. And the overwhelming concept is we have to realize we need to stand together and bring out the truth that, us Twitter sleuths and the community members that are researching, constantly surfacing things. We need to bring out the truth, share the stories, make videos, do everything we can. So all the information is out there. So we don't have like another so-called Bernie Madoff to where, there was a whistleblower saying, hey, here's what's happening, get on this. And, government officials and, ignore it. And then when it comes to, it being in front of them, or acting as if they don't know, it's like, no. You can't deny any of this. It's all out there. People are making videos. We have community members on Twitter constantly talking about it. You cannot deny the truth of what's happening. These are conspiracy theories, unfounded speculation. These are facts that are happening. You got strong work from people like CoffeeZilla, community members in the XRP community, and so on, doing great work. And we have to remember and not get blinded by all these different narratives that are being pushed. The overwhelming concept is it's truly us, a decentralized community, coming together to fight the good fight, to stand up to the powers that be, because they're trying to take a bigger piece of the pie and control the space, because we see the writing on the wall with this space, and crypto is the future. And that's just a reality. All right, rant over, my bad. Watcher Guru says FTX hires forensic investigators to track the billions of dollars that went missing. Oh, wait, there was something down here that was interesting. Oh, it says right here. This is from Liam. It says FTX uses customer funds to hire forensic investigators to track the billions of dollars in funds they stole from customers. Fixed it. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny. It is just absolutely crazy. Look, it says Grand Theft Crypto. This is awesome, man. See, I love that, people are putting together like comedy things like this, a little bit of humor behind everything, but like it still doesn't change from the facts. People, thousands and thousands of investors have been hurt by this. Some to the very extreme, some, a little lesser. But the point is these are people that are doing shady stuff within the industry and corrupting and devastating lives. And it's just tragic. And it's shameful, especially when it comes to our government officials. This is from Eleanor Terry. Says breaking. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says the exchange's 2022 revenue will likely be cut in half due to FTX collapse and declining prices. More and more stuff, and it's absolutely tragic. This video is already at 11 minutes, and I think I'm gonna save going into the Gary Gensler and the Yahoo Finance interview, because I really want to be able to talk a little bit about some of the arrogance and how he's kind of portraying himself, which he's not fooling anybody. But I wanted to end on, was it this one? Yeah, I wanted to end on this right here. It says, why do I feel like he's saying crap, but he's saying the S word, some crap is about to go down. So he's saying something's about to go down, and a lot of people in the community has been tweeting saying, yeah, definitely. And they're obviously people are speculating on particular, variables or factors that can cause this incident to come down. But it's like, it almost seems like, yes, something is coming that's bigger than, this whole FTX thing. And I'm not saying to be because I'm not sensitive to, what's been happening. Obviously, I'm in it too. My portfolio has been decimated. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying any of that. But I definitely feel like something's coming, and whether that's a tether thing, I'm not trying to spread FUD or anything, but that's probably one of the big things that I've been, keeping my eyes on and trying to research how that's going to play in the community. Who knows? I mean, it can even be something that's crazy as, all of a sudden Gary Gensler and the SEC beat Ripple. I mean, me personally, I don't see that, but I'm just saying something wild. Who knows? This space is absolutely nuts. Things can change on the flip of a dime. I've been here since late 2017, and I've seen the ebbs and flows of the market. I've seen shady stuff happen. I've seen collapse. I've seen the market literally at 100 billion. Anything can happen. So quite honestly, I'm just trying to position myself the best I can for my family, for my boys. But yeah, I definitely feel the same about this. Like XRP Farrell says, why do I feel like some crap's about to go down? We'll see. Not spreading FUD. I'm just saying. If I go over here to CoinGecko real quick, we're currently sitting at 875 billion. Bitcoin sitting at 16.8, and then Ethereum 12.29. XRP sitting at 38 cents, almost 39 cents. But that's what I have for you, man. This quick one. Shout out CoffeeZilla and Portnoy and all the rest of the community members that's been posting stuff. Eleanor Terrett and all the great work that's been done out there. Shout out all you guys. Make sure you come to the Crypto's Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto's Key One. I really appreciate your support, and I'm glad I'm back. I feel a little rusty trying to get in my groove. Hopefully get my setup going so things sound normal and I'm more comfortable. But I'm going to be putting out another video, I think at like 6 a.m. Tomorrow. But hey, shout out you guys, man. I really appreciate you. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.